So I have my Dwarf set up here in equatorial mode. I have it set at this degree. I live in 35 degrees north, if you're wondering. And I have the charging cable. I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna need 2 hands. I'm sorry for now. Okay. Alright, now press the button to turn it on. I have this really cool oak Astro dew shield. As you can see, it's really clever. It's 3D printed. And this is tape, by the way, just to hold the spike mask on. And in the inside there is felt to not have any reflections. It's pretty cool. These were only 30 euros, and I have the button off mask as well and another spike mask like this, but with 6 spikes, so it's a bit different. It's with magnetic, so you just stick it on, it stays like that. And this will prevent light leaks, you know, if there's maybe some neighbor next to you that likes to turn on lights, this will prevent that problem. And I'm gonna try and point it north, roughly in this direction. And next we open the Dwarf lab app and start setting it up to start shooting. I'm going for VDB126 tonight. It's a dark nebula near Albereo star. Should be pretty fun. Important 7 skies. We're gonna see if we are successful or not. I may waste a whole night, but I have to try to know. Otherwise I won't know. I don't know if it's possible from Portal 7. I think so. With enough integration, everything is possible, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I connected to the Dwarf Lab Mini. Basically, you turn on the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And now you can, an interesting option is schedule. You see here schedule. This is just, you can create a schedule, like for example, you start imaging Messier 17, for example, then along the night, it will automatically go to another target that you set it to. So you capture 2 things in one night, for example. But I like to spend a whole night on the same target. But if you like to do multiple targets, the schedule is a good option for you. So next is live view. Okay. Parameter, filter astro. I'm surprised how dark the screen is. Not usually this dark. The gain is low, maybe. I think the shutter is slow. Yes, alright, the shutter was low. You should see this grainy image. Now, first thing is focus, but from experience, I know that 597 is the perfect focus for the Dwarf. So I'm not even gonna bother, because I tried it many nights and it always goes to 597. So 597 is perfect focus, just an FYI for you without a filter. With a filter it may change. So today I'm not gonna use a filter because the VDB126 is a broadband target. Now first thing is go to EQ mode. We are focused, so it's no problem. Continue EQ setup. I'm ready, next, and it will start calibrating. And at the moment the Dwarf turned a bit and it's going to plate solve the sky, and it will tell us the error of the polar alignment. And we have to adjust according to what error we have. Okay, so tilt upward about 7 degrees. I'm gonna tilt the device upwards. I'm changing it at the moment. Okay, press next. It's important to get it as good as you can, because the better you get the alignment, the better the tracking. Especially with mine, since I don't have this stock tripod for the Dwarf, it's important that I have perfect polar alignment. You see, its deviation, it's only 1 degree, but this is up to you. If it's okay to you, press I'm ready. In my case, I wanted 0 degrees, so be more precise. tilt upward by 1 degree. I'm gonna adjust it slightly. Okay. Alright, press next. Should be good, I think now. I hope the fireworks are not gonna interfere tonight, because I can hear fireworks in the background. Yeah, you see, perfect polar alignment achieved. It's really not that hard. Once you get the hang of it, you will get perfect polar alignment every time. Okay, now Atlas. Now this nebula that I want to capture, I don't think it's listed. I'm gonna check just to be sure, but I'm not expecting it to be here. Yeah, no, it's not here. Okay, you go Albereo, because I know where it is. Albereo, there's a star named Alpha. It's here. This one is Alpha. And the target I want to image is somewhere around here. I'm gonna do the atmosphere because I'm not seeing correctly. This one. You see this dark nebulosity here? This is the target we want to image. As you can see, the field of view is very tight, but it's gonna be fine. What I don't like about the dwarf, because as you can see, I'm kind of centering it, and by default it's going to the star to center it, so I cannot get it perfectly how I want it, but yeah, it's decent. You can also do a mosaic, just so you know. You go here and you make the field of view bigger, but there's a downside to this. It will take longer and depends on the target. This one I'm not gonna use a mosaic because I don't need it, but it will take longer, the mosaic, just so you know. It will keep swapping places along the stack. Okay, press this button, bottom right, and okay, now it's gonna calibrate. Basically it's gonna play solve, so it knows where the nebula is. Basically gonna do like when I do the virtuoso star alignment, but it does it much quicker with plate solving. Okay, now the dwarf is turning at the moment. Alright, so it's centering the target. I really hope I can get this from border 7, that I'm not gonna waste the whole night. Alright, so now as far as exposure, I'm not gonna go crazy tonight. I think 30 seconds, because I can feel some wind. And normally I go 60 seconds or something like that. But I may push it to 45, I don't know. I'm gonna push it to 45. We'll see what happens. 60 gain. Normally you stay in the 60 gain range. And count is how much frames you want to capture. In my case, what time is it? 22. So 23, 24, 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 hours, 30 minutes I have till the morning. So as you can see, I'm gonna set it about 6 hours, 30 minutes. Alright. I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot with the 45 second subs, because I can feel some wind. I'm really debating whether I should go 45 seconds. No, I'm gonna go 30 seconds, because I can feel wind. I'm gonna leave it 60, because this is a pretty light polluted area, and then we don't want to absolutely blow the sky out. So we'll give it time to initialize. It will only take like a minute or so. And today my neighbors have the lights on, unfortunately. So this is gonna be a tough one. Dark nebulae are notoriously difficult to image from light polluted skies. But I'm up for the challenge. I succeeded on the Squid Nebula, and I'm gonna succeed on this one. And I'm searching for a bit of new targets at the moment, so I don't keep capturing the same targets over and over. It's nice to find new targets to image. Okay, so we'll give it time so we can see the first frame. And this will live stack like SharpCap, just for your information. And it will save the individual subs as well, so you can stack later. Okay. Yeah, pretty decent stars, not perfect, but pretty decent. I'm glad I went with 30 seconds instead of 45, because even at 30 seconds I can see some small trailing. But it shouldn't be a problem with today's processing tools. We have parallax today, and we can fix the stars. It's not a problem if they have slight trailing, so don't sweat it. It's not a perfect device, especially with my tripod. You won't get perfect images, for sure. Actually, I can see some slight dark nebulosity already here. There are slight tendrils of dust. This is encouraging that I can see them in this very short exposure. It means that when I stack hours worth, I'm gonna get a decent result. So I'm gonna let it stacking for 6 hours. Then I'm gonna come later and we'll see what we get. Alright, so this is the end with the dwarf. As you can see, I have great detail here. This is just a stretched live stack, so I'm not expecting anything really. This will come out with processing, and just by the live stack I can see the dark nebulosity in the middle, so I think we were successful in this. I'm gonna go process it on Cyril. I think I'm gonna do a time lapse of me processing it too, so you get an idea what I did. But yeah, I love the spikes too. This spike mask is nice from Ocastro. I'm a Newtonian type of guy, so I like star spikes. I know a lot of people are against it, but it's what I am. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a short video about imaging with the dwarf, and I like to image with the dwarf when I don't want to set up, and I want a quick night, and it's perfect for that. And I can still process my own images, and yeah, and I can use my own filter if I want now. That's why I bought that adapter for the filters, but you know, it is what it is. And now I'm gonna press this, stop stacking. Okay, go to the main menu and disconnect, and that's it. That's the end of the night. If you like this video, click thumbs up and share my videos and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Clear skies.